The flowing one. The flowing one is she who dances with change. It means she does not resist life when it shifts its rhythm. She does not freeze in fear when familiar plans collapse. She feels the new beat and finds a new way to move with it. She is not afraid when the known dissolves. She knows how to step into the unfamiliar as if she had always belonged there. Let's try a simple practice called the dance of change. Choose one change in your life, something that has already happened or is about to unfold. It doesn't matter if it is big or small. Close your eyes and imagine this change as a rhythm. It might be fast and erratic. It might be slow and heavy. Allow your body to respond. Make a few movements, any movements. Let your body show you how it wants to dance this rhythm. Give yourself permission to find the step that feels like yours. Then ask yourself, if this change were music, what lesson would it carry for me? Open your eyes and write down the first thought that comes. That will be your golden seam, your unique beauty born from change. The music of change. For most people, change feels like chaos, an ordeal. But for the flowing one, it is music. Where others hear only noise, she hears the melody of transformation. She senses invisible signals, the way the wind shifts its direction, the way words carry hidden meanings, the way life whispers, "It is time to move on." Where others see only an ending, the flowing one begins a new pattern. She knows that life does not break us. It reveals new forms of movement. Life always plays in different tempos. Sometimes its rhythm is fast and urgent, and you dance in the flow of events. Other times it slows down, heavy and drawn out, and you must learn to wait, to listen, to slow down with it. The flowing one hears rhythm not with her ears, but with her heart. That is why she always finds the step that carries her forward. She knows that life rarely moves in a straight line. Plans change, people leave, circumstances collapse. But where others see only fragments, she sees the material for a new design. She does not simply survive change, she transforms it into strength. She discovers new movements, new words, new paths, and becomes a living example of how harmony can rise from chaos. Most people experience change as a threat. They fear losing stability, control, the comfort of what is familiar. But the flowing one knows, change is not the enemy. It is the language of life. And when you begin to move with it, you discover that you can be free even in uncertainty. You feel that change is never random. It arrives to open new paths, new facets of yourself. She trusts this music, and that is why she always finds the step that carries her forward. The flowing one weaves the unexpected into her dance. She does not cling to old movements, but allows the new to blend into her story. And even from cracks, she creates beauty. Remember the Japanese art of kintsugi. Broken pottery is joined with gold, and the crack becomes the most precious, the most beautiful part. So it is with her. Where others see only fragments, the flowing one discovers patterns of harmony. Each break becomes precious, each crack a design, each seam shines as a reminder. True value is not born from flawless perfection, but from the to accept and transform. She does not hide her cracks. She turns them into ornaments of her life. She weaves into her dance everything that happens to her. And this is what makes her unique. She knows that the end of one thing is the beginning of another. She turns what once felt like loss into the foundation for growth. Her life is not a series of failures, but a dance of transformation. And you too can learn to be flowing, to remain yourself, even when everything around you changes. The gift of the flowing one. The strength of the flowing one lies in her flexibility. She knows how to welcome the new without fear. She can weave in other people's ideas, new circumstances, unexpected turns, and still not lose her depth. She is the woman who can change her home, her work, even her relationships, and still carry in her heart the unshakable sense of who she is. For her, there are no final dead ends. She always finds movement. And in that lies both her strength and her freedom. Where others stop and say it's over, she sees a crossroads. She knows, if one door has closed, then another exists. It simply hasn't revealed itself yet. If the path has ended, then it is time to turn and discover a new one. The flowing one does not waste energy fighting what can no longer be changed. She accepts it and looks for where the flow continues. And this is what makes her free. Because freedom is not about controlling the world, but about finding the way forward, even when it seems there is none. The shadow of the flowing one. But every strength casts a shadow. Sometimes flexibility turns into endless adaptation. Sometimes, in trying to please everyone, the flowing one forgets who she truly is. She hears what others want and unconsciously begins to adjust to their rhythm. At first, it looks like care, attentiveness, flexibility. But over time, she can lose the sense of her own rhythm. She is so sensitive to the shifts around her that she can dissolve into the rhythms of others, living by their desires, adapting so much that her own dance disappears, and then her flexibility is no longer her strength. It becomes her weakness. The greatest trap for the flowing one is believing that being convenient and flexible means being loved. As a child, she may have been told, "Be obedient, don't argue, adapt, then you'll be accepted." And slowly she learned to believe that love must be earned through silence and softness, through denying her own desires. She becomes the one who always adjusts, the one who senses others' needs faster than her own, the one who gives in just to avoid rejection. But this is not love. It is fear of losing love, and it hides the essential truth. You are not loved because you are easy. You are loved because you are real. Love arrives not when you disappear into others' rhythms, but when you remain yourself. The flowing one can forget that her dance is unique, that it carries movements no one else has. And when she forgets this, her flexibility stops being power and turns into endless compromise. This is her vulnerability. To be too flowing is to risk dissolving, to become invisible, even to herself. The healing of the flowing one. The flowing one begins to heal when she no longer ties flexibility to love, when she realizes love does not arrive because you adapt. It arrives where there is a living, authentic dance, where a woman remains herself, even if her step does not match the steps of others. Healing comes when the flowing one stops confusing flexibility with self-denial. She understands. To dance with change does not mean to dissolve. It means to stay in motion, yet remain centered. She begins to hear not only the rhythm of life, but also the rhythm of her own heart. And then her steps become harmonious. She moves with change, but does not lose her melody. The healing of the flowing one lies in her ability to say yes to the new, while also remembering to say no to what violates her boundaries. She learns to choose which changes to embrace and which ones not to let into her dance. And it is in this choosing that her maturity is revealed. The flowing one heals when she is no longer merely flexible, but directed. When her fluidity serves not to please everyone, but to freely express herself. And then her dance becomes beautiful not only for others, but for her as well. It ceases to be adaptation and becomes the expression of her strength. I want to tell you this. You can be flexible and still firmly know who you are. You can change and still never lose your center. Your fluidity is not weakness. It is the art of moving with life, not resisting, yet never disappearing in its current. You can be the flowing one, the one who dances with change. Look within yourself, and you will find that you too can turn cracks into gold and unexpected turns into new possibilities. And every step, every pause, every turn you make is not a loss, but a discovery. Every change, not a threat, but an opportunity. Every shift, a new touch of your true self. Subscribe and begin to learn how to dance not against change, but with it.